Today, let's learn about Alright, before we get into it, let me make a quick case, because I know some of you are going to say, well, fighting each of the monsters is actually you just defending yourself because they are attacking you. And I just want to counter and say that if that is the case, then why can't you talk to different monsters throughout the game who do not attack you at all? And two, when you enter the fight, who was the one to attack first? You see, I'm here to tell you the truth about this game. You are the antagonist. You are the bad guy. These monsters are helplessly trying to defend themselves while you just wail away at them with no regard for their lives. Now, I had to start this video with this argument to show why I consider each murder in this game, in the Genocide Run, to be a war crime. And if you have your own opinion, that's fine. You're probably wrong, but hey, people are wrong all the time. Now, let's get into the Genocide Run. You start out in the ruins, and here you meet your first enemy encounter. The Frogget. A quick one-hit kill, and we have successfully committed our first war crime. Now, after that guaranteed encounter, this is when the game truly begins. Each area of Undertale has a number of required murders, and after hitting this limit, innocent monsters will evacuate the area and stop appearing. The ruins have 20 required random encounter kills, each one equating to its own war crime. And, just so we're clear, I did not include Napstablook because you don't actually really kill him. Now, going through the ruins, you pick off everybody you see until there's no one left to face you. At this point, you truly begin to immerse in yourself as the true monster of Undertale. And at this point, you can take on Toriel. You one-shot Toriel, completing the ruins with 22 war crimes. Now you enter Snowdin, where you first meet Sans. We must kill the mini-boss Doggo. However, in this instance, Doggy and Greater Dog are soldiers, so these kills do not count as war crimes since they are fighting for their nation. Snowdin has a required 16 random encounter kills, not including the local kennel we just mentioned. And if you plan this out just right, you can try and get a double fight when you only have one kill left, adding one extra random encounter kill in the area. On your way to the town center, you have one last run-in with Papyrus. Sans tries to warn us to not fight his brother, even threatening you with what he calls a bad time before disappearing. That does not stop you. You walk through the now deserted town, pillaging your way through, taking everything from a tough glove to... Which, full transparency, this is in violation of Article 33 of the 4th Convention, which protects civilians from pillage. After committing your crimes, you exit the town, where Papyrus decides to face you head-on. But when facing death, Papyrus offers hope. He wants to be your tutor and lead you down a new path towards good. He wants to fix you. You one-shot him, completing Snowdin with another 19 war crimes, bringing our total now to 41. And to make my argument clear, Papyrus is a soldier who has laid down his arms, which is why this murder is different than that of Doggy and the Greater Dog, who were soldiers actively fighting for their nation. After this, you can now enter the Waterfall, and soon meet up with Shiren and hum her ass away. While slaughtering the 18 required random encounter kills, Undyne does her best to try and stop you, resorting to snapping a bridge in half, hoping you would fall to your death. At the bottom of the waterfall, you meet the Mad Dummy, who turned so mad he became glad. The Glad Dummy offers to spare you for helping them fulfill their lifelong dream. You one-shot the Glad Dummy. After killing the remaining civilians in the waterfall, plus a free extra kill, you are confronted by the Monster Kid. In an act of bravery, the kid stands up to you. But even when facing a child, your lust for murder cannot be stopped. You make an attempt at his life, which is a war crime in and of itself because you are attacking an individual citizen who is not attacking you. But when the strike comes through, Undyne steps in and takes the hit. With this sacrificial act, Undyne reaches her new form. But despite her best efforts, she proves to be no match for you. Now, since Undyne had attacked first previously, you are clear from this one since there is an argument for self-defense. As her body melts away, you look back and realize you added another 20 war crimes in the Waterfall area, bringing your total to 61. After cleaning the blood off your hands, you enter the Hotlands, and upon saving, you learn about the 40 random encounter kills you will have to have in this area. Navigating through the Hotlands, you meet the Royal Guards and Muffet, who stand no chance against your terror. However, since the Royal Guards are soldiers fighting for their land, they are to fight against you. These kills do not count as war crimes. You steal from the store by the resort, which has been evacuated. All have left except for Burger Pants. Alphys has gotten everyone else out of your way. There was no time to activate the puzzles in the core, the only protection being a few brave warriors willing to take a stand against you. Now this is a bit of a sticky situation, because these civilians have taken up arms to fight against you. They lose their civilian protections given to them by the Geneva Conventions, technically making these kills not a war crime. However, I had already hit my 40 required kills, so the Hotlands quota of war crimes was still met. Leaving no life behind, you come face to face with Mettaton. Inching closer, they revealed their true form, Mettaton Neo, a form created strictly to eradicate humans. You one-shot them. Now, since they hadn't attacked you yet, Mettaton Neo did not take direct part in the hostilities, which according to the International Committee of the Red Cross, they are still owed their rights under the Geneva Conventions, making this a war crime. You can now leave the Hotlands and core with an extra 40 war crimes, now at a total of 101. The path to the new home is now unobstructed. Despite a lengthy dialogue with Flowey, you enter the last chamber, ready to face your judgment. Sans asks you if the worst person can change, before quickly changing his tone. Do you want to have a bad time? The fight begins, and despite his low defenses, Sans dodges every attack. He has no choice but to fight back, knowing that what would come next is worse than not trying. He offers one last chance at redemption. Spare Sans, and he will spare you. But knowing that you will get dunked on, the fight continues. Sans gets more and more tired, revealing that he will use his special attack. His attack would become nothing. An endless cycle of Sans' turn would not allow you to ever fight back, stopping you in your tracks. But as Sans falls asleep, you move your soul over to the fight window and strike for one last time. But Sans still dodges, and while mocking you, a second blow comes through. A strike, seemingly out of nowhere, takes Sans out. He slowly walks away, calling out to his brother Papyrus. However, if you remember previously, Sans did kinda threaten you with a bad time, and he lived up to that promise. Plus, since he is a soldier fighting against you, he is not protected by law, thus making this kill not a war crime. It is now time to face Asgore. You enter the throne room, flowers spread all over the ground. Asgore is perplexed about a crying flower he just encountered, and when he turns around, he sees you, He begs you not to fight, but that doesn't stop the inevitable. A slash comes down, seemingly out of nowhere, and kills Asgore. Flowey then appears, taking ownership over the death of Asgore. Flowey pleads for his life, claiming he can be of service to you, but the same happens. Flowey is destroyed. But it wasn't really you that struck Flowey down. Chara appears and makes a case to finally destroy this world. But at a last second of clarity, you plead to save it. But you were mistaken. You were never in control. Okay, now we have to have a little chat about this whole control thing. For all but the very end, you have the power to stop what you were doing. So all of those deaths are on you, 100%. But for Asgore and Flowey, we have a bit of a Nuremberg trial situation going on. Now I get Flowey technically kills Asgore, but if you didn't do what you had done previously, this would have never happened. There is some form of blame that can be placed on you for these crimes. And I would also go as far to say that you are in violation of Article 87 of Protocol 1, since you are in control of your character and should do whatever you can to stop any war crime from happening, which you clearly do not. I would also say that because you could have stopped what you were doing at any moment, even though you technically didn't commit the final few kills, they do happen because of what you have done, and they happen on your watch. So there is some blame to go around, and I would attribute these war crimes to your total. And if you don't agree with that, honestly, that's fine. You can have your own interpretation of these things. I've got my own. And with that being said, we can head to the final results. In the genocide run of Undertale, you are able to commit a grand total of 103 war crimes. Each murder violates 7 articles of the Geneva Conventions, and with the pillaging of a few stores and your duty as a commander, you are capable of breaking 724 articles of the Geneva Conventions throughout the run. And if you enjoyed this, then give it a like and hit the subscribe button for more stuff you certainly don't need to know about, but you might find interesting anyways. And if there's anything else you want me to look into, let me know, and I'll see you later.